The G-Wade Podcast with Deacon Dirty.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy G-Wade holding it down, G-Wade Podcast, and I'm kicking it alongside with my man Deacon
Dirty.
Chia, and we got topics this week, man. We do interviews after interviews after interviews after interviews, and we said, and we haven't stuck to it, but we said we're gonna start hitting some of these topics at least once a month, and talk about what's popping in current affairs and the news and all that good stuff. So let's jump right into it. Listen, how did you feel about when Jussie Smollett was sentenced to 150 months in prison? Did you watch the judge? Did you watch the sentencing?
No, I didn't. Honestly, I didn't feel any kind of way about it.
No?
I had written the whole thing off from the beginning.
Gotcha. Now, wrote it off, meaning as in because of what you didn't feel it was true, or you wrote it off because this is 3 years old. I'm over it.
A little of both.
Okay. So I'll give you my take, and then
because how many days did he actually do? And I say days.
6.
6. Wow.
Listen, I don't feel like he should have been in there. Yeah. He wasn't a violent. Technically, it wasn't a violent crime, and according to the reports, it wasn't a violent crime. But he's paid the fines. I think they at one point a couple of years ago they had settled it. Like, all right, pay the fines, do your community service, walk away, and don't look back. And then one of the other prosecutors or somebody reopened it, and that's how we got to here. Of the 150 months in prison. Now I watched the court, the sentencing.
That's when you look at the other prosecutor and go, "Why?"
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Exactly. I watched it, and the judge. Some people say the judge like chastened him for like 30 minutes because I felt like the judge recounted everything. We've watched court cases where the judge do chasten the what do you call them? Who the suspect? What do you call them when they standing in court?
I plead the fifth.
I don't even know what they call them. The not the victim, but I guess he would be the suspect. You know what I'm saying?
Guilty.
Yeah, but not guilty, but just the one that they charging for the crime or whatever. And I watched him. I didn't think he be like chasing him. I felt like he recounted the whole story. And made his comments about each piece.
Just in case y'all forgot.
Right, right.
Why we here.
And, hey, if that's how some people felt about it, that he, the judge had no right to chasing him, just sentence him and let it go. But we've seen judges do this before. Whether it's right or wrong, that part I don't know. We've just seen it before. But he just kind of, as he was talking about each point, he had his comments about each point.
Wow.
And the comments were just basically, and it was proven that this was that. You know what I mean? It wasn't so much like, and you were wrong for doing it. You shouldn't have done it. No, he was just saying, again, this is me talking. I'm not speaking for the court or nobody else. I didn't feel like he was being chastened. But when he sentenced him to 150 months, I was like, I don't know if he should have been sentenced to jail. I know different strokes for different courts. You know what I'm saying? And whatever. I don't know what criteria judges get to go on to determine how they want the outcome to be or the sentencing to be. He gave him the probation and all that kind of stuff. I felt like that could have stopped right there. Then he fined him more money. So Then it's like, dang. Okay, fine. You fined him more money. But again, I just didn't feel like he should have gone to jail or prison. But Jussie had a lot to say on the way out. Boy.
What was he actually charged with?
That's a good question.
See?
It was several counts. I thought it was around 9 counts. May not have been all 9 that he was charged with, but that's what they indicted him. Maybe he was. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at it. But he asked them. The judge asked, "Hey, you got anything you want to say?" My man stood up. Well, he looked over at the I guess maybe family in the court. He says, I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal. He stood up. If anything happens to me in there, I didn't do this to myself. You know what I'm saying? He was making it clear that if anything go down after today, it wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not
Smart.
very smart. Very smart. So regardless, again, whether you felt like he was guilty, not guilty, did it didn't happen, whatever. I was riding on that. I was like, I feel you, bro.
R. Kelly watching the trial. Why not think
I
of
should
that?
have thought of that instead of this is my life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I mean, Jussie thought the same thing. This is my life, and I want y'all to know, I did not do it. Walking out, the courtroom, still yelling it. I am not suicidal. If I was guilty, I would have admitted it 3 years ago.
This is a sham.
This is a travesty. You know what I'm saying?
Being railroaded.
This is a farce. Hey, listen, I was rocking with him on that part because strange things happen when people get behind those, get behind the wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Tied a perfectly good knot and hung himself.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
So that was smart of him for saying that.
Yeah, no, I thought it was, whether people thought it was him just being extra or whatever. Whatever. Okay, I get you, but I thought that was a smart idea.
If any foul plays afoot, retrace my steps.
Remember this.
Remember this
Mark
day.
my words.
What he said.
My man, it walked out on 10. You know what I mean? He didn't walk out like, humble. I'm going to go ahead and eat this 150. You know what I'm saying? What was 150 months? 150 days. What's 150 days?
One day too many for me.
Right. Maybe it was like, I'm saying months, but I don't think it was months. That was way too many. Way too many. It was days. So he would have been in there like 5 months or something like that. I
think he really is Pac.
I don't know. But I tell you what, he sat in there for 6 and got out. So he was released after 6 days. And they said he only had nothing but water to drink in there. He didn't eat any of the food that he was standing on whatever he was standing on. Again, this is my thing. I'm not saying him. I don't want to put these words or put this thought on him, but I will say, if you're going to stand on a lie, stand on your lie. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that's what he did. I'm just saying, based on evidence and based on everybody was standing scratching their head like, how? At 2 a.m. At 2 a.m, would you ever be out? And in a blizzard, we talking about one of the biggest blizzards in.
With all this DoorDash going on,
But would they even come? Yeah. We ain't delivering no Subway sandwich to the dirties.
Usually, like when you hear stars, in situations like that where they're out at some odd time in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually involved in something.
So I creep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're usually involved in some kind of clandestine activity.
Right. Oh, you see, I thought she needed a ride. I was just out here giving her a ride.
So that whole thing about him being attacked by some guys in MAGA hats, I was like, what was the real story? Like, why were you out that late? Well,
everything seems to, and again, I don't know. I'm not inside. I don't have not a clue, but what the story that comes back from different, I guess, sources or whatever is more thought it would up his monies, up his, his monies on the show Empire.
Jussie.
But yeah,
Jussie.
But it that backfired. You know what I'm saying? Because he was written off. And, listen, I get it. People do things, dude. People do things. I can't say he did things, but based on just me looking at it from the way I saw it, I was like, I don't know, dude. That don't sound right to me. Sorry if it happened to you, but I don't believe it. And if they were able to, what they call it, triangulate with the cameras and find out who was here, where was what, everything seems to don't point to your story. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just simply saying.
You forgot about that part of the plan. Yeah. Cameras everywhere.
Everywhere that you can just be like, all right. Because if you're showing the two brothers inside of whatever store they were in buying these items that was used or that they saw on your person, how, Sway? It's like finding, you ever see those forensic shows and they have the rope, little fiber of a rope, and then they go to the store with the Walmart where it was bought from, and then they was able to triangulate when you left there and then you went to the hardware store.
And the rope is only made during this season.
From this stock number.
Yeah, this tree.
From on this corner of the field, you know what I mean? You have to kind of start saying something is to this. There was another story that came out. So I say this. So if I'm glad he's not in prison. I'm honestly, because I don't think it was worth being sitting in no jail for no 5 months, 5 days. Yeah, hit him with the fee, give him probation. There's some shame that he got to deal with.
You think that the judge sentenced him just to kind of like, I don't know, take a jab at him?
It almost like it could have been making a point or something.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like kind of that's because otherwise, why would you do it? I mean, this is a non-violent offense.
Who's not suicidal?
Who is not suicidal? I mean, I was, again, when he said, I laughed because I thought it was funny that that's what he would say. But then as I thought about it, I was like, good answer.
Wink, wink.
Right. Good answer. You know what I mean?
I am not suicidal.
I am not suicidal. So if something happens to me behind this, behind these bars, I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there are other people who went behind the walls and wish they would have said the same declaration. Yeah. Jeff Epstein, what his name?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
But he could have done it to himself, given the fact that he had too many names and he knew things. Or if you watch Scandal, they can make you disappear. You know what I'm saying? Or make it look like an accident. You know what I'm saying? So nothing surprises me there. But there was another situation that came, I don't know if you heard, when Tisha Campbell said some things. And
I was believing her for a minute, though.
It was believable, but then as I started to hear her talk about it, it started to not to be believable to me. And I was like, so when they pulled up with the van, you had a conversation with them and, no, sir, no, ma'am, I'm not coming in that van, instead of running into the hotel.
No, we were taught as kids, when you see something like that, you run. You go the opposite direction.
Okay, I guess your mic is on. It just seemed low. But it's on, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, it just seemed. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Like I said, in the beginning, I believed it. And then everybody else started doing, uploading their videos, kind of dissecting her story.
Well, I didn't see any of
And
those.
after a while, I was like, you know what? She could be lying.
Something smells fishy.
Something ain't right.
But the police did their own investigation without, conducted their own investigation, and it proved to be no sir, no ma'am. We don't see any evidence of this happening on this street. You standing on this street, this van. I'm like, I guess what I'm saying is, you all know that we are probably in all of, let's say U.S., forget America. I mean, the whole world, but just U.S. No, not U.S. U.S. That there are cameras on every corner, like every street.
Even in your pocket.
Even in your pocket. You don't walk down Walmart aisles and you see the things start flashing at you. Like they're everywhere. Everywhere. Like, how do you think that you can get away with things? And people, don't get me wrong, get away for a while, because people are getting caught. Like, you did it today or yesterday and you getting caught today. Whereas, the whole 90s serial killer didn't get caught until 2005. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He had like 2 decades that he went through before. You know what I mean? So I don't know how y'all think you can do something and get away with it so easily, because your phone is gonna start snitching on you after a while. Like it's gonna detect the crime and report it to the police.
Yeah. No, she's lying.
Right.
She was here.
It's just gonna send out some kind of signal.
Yeah, any cell phone tower that you're near, it'll start pinging.
It'll start pinging without you ain't even gotta be using your phone. It just picks up. So yeah.
Here.
Right. You got to get a burner phone or whatever. And I don't even know if that's even reliable for real. Because I think if somebody knows your phone number, they'll know where you are. That's all I guess the investigators would probably need is your number. Don't worry about it. The towers will pick them up. So they'll at least have the basic area of where you may be and start, what do you call it? Process of elimination, or start reducing it down to right here at this house. So I'm saying, like Beretta said, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Remember that song back in the day? Keep your eye on the sparrow. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up.